Hey, and welcome back to another one of our videos about 3D space. Today we're going to be looking at how to draw 3D shapes. Now I know what you're thinking. When I think about, amazing people who could draw perfect 3D shapes, the first person that comes to mind is Mr. West. He's such a great drawer. He does such a great job. I can tell you this is the most nervous I've been before any video because I worry about how neat this is going to look. But I've got my ruler here and I'm going to give it a go. All right. Before we start, yes, I did listen to your feedback, and one of the people suggested that I wear my flamingo shirt. You can't really see that it's a flamingo shirt, but I can guarantee you it is my flamingo shirt. So there you go. It happened. I don't know what's going to come up next. Maybe my sushi shirt. We'll see what happens. Okay. So today we're learning about how to draw 3D shapes. And I'm going to give you a few different options because not every option works for every person. So what we're going to do is we're going to try a few different ones. So up above me, there, you have a few different 3D shapes, and we're going to look through how we can do some of those. Let's start with the most basic one, the cube. Now I've got this really wobbly camera, and if I touch it, it could move. So we're going to try to move around it. Okay, when I'm drawing a cube, why can't I see that? Let me just see what I can do here. I think I've got to, maybe I have to quickly update this thing to make sure it works. Refresh, reconnect maybe. Is that better? Is that better? I hope it doesn't lag. I really apologize if it does. Alright, let's try a cube. Alright, so we know a cube has all sides that are the same. So we're going to draw just a simple square, right? Like this. Now there are a few different options. The way that I find it easiest is to start in the middle of that square and draw another square of exactly the same size. Like this. Being very careful not to hit my camera tripod. Like that. Okay, so you've got a square inside a square. And now you just make sure that the top right corner joins to that top right corner, that joins to that, that joins to that. Perfect. We have got our cube. Now there are other ways to do it, but not any of them are as easy as that one. So I might stick with that one. Same thing as a rectangle. I am sorry about, I can see it glitching a little bit. I do apologize if it does turn out a bit glitchy. So let's say a rectangular prism. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4 across, right? So make sure it's the same distance of both of them. Oops. And then we're going to go 2 up, right? Now, I'm using a thing called isometric paper. I will attach a copy of this isometric paper. However, I understand if you can't do it, so any lined paper at home, I'm sure you'll be able to do it. So then halfway in my rectangle, I'm going to put a dot there, and I'm going to draw the exact same rectangle, but halfway in between it. So it's 2 down. Make sure you're counting the exact same amount down. Then I went 4 blocks across. So it's 4 across. Okay. Do the top one as well. 4 across. Go 2 down, and then you join the bottom left corner. Sorry. Bottom left corner to bottom left corner. Same there. And same there. Now, I know what you're thinking at home, that you could probably get away with not using a ruler. Why didn't that work? I'm telling you, there's not one kid in my whole teaching career that's been able to successfully get away with not using a ruler without me noticing. It's so obvious. We're getting to the stage where you're getting close to high school, and they all expect it to look perfect. And if you're doing your freehand without using a ruler, it is so easy to tell. Okay, so I'm going to need you to use a ruler. So we've done a rectangular prism, which is just a square inside a square, and we've done a rectangular prism, which is a rectangle inside a rectangle. Let's go to something a little bit different. Let's pick a cone, yeah? So basically one way to do a cone is to draw like the main part of a triangle. Oops, I'm struggling a little bit with this. That's okay. Okay, so we've gone 1, 2, 3 boxes down and one across. So 1, 2, 3 boxes down, one across, basically drawing a capital A, but without the line through. Now there's two options you can do here. Let's draw the same thing again, and I'll show you the two options. Okay, so you've got two identical shapes here. Now you can either choose to do like a really skinny oval, like that, or you can just choose to do just the bottom part, like that. Both of those are acceptable. Okay, I know that one probably could be a bit wider, but but make sure you don't do it like a circle. Make sure it's always like an oval. So you can either do it like that or like that, and that is your cone. Similarly, for your cylinder, you have two lines down like this. Make sure they're using a rule exactly the same. All right, and we're going to draw two of them as well, like that and like that. Okay, so there's two options here, just like this one. You can draw one where it's like that, but the top would have to be able to be seen, right? So you'd have to do like that. Okay, so this one, and if you want to have that, both of those two are acceptable, but make sure your ovals are quite skinny. The bigger you do it, the bigger chance you have of it looking like this. This is the sort of stuff we get sometimes. I don't want that. I want ovals to look like that. So I want this cylinder to look like that. Okay, so just two lines straight down and then two ovals, or you can draw it like these ones. These ones will be accepted. I would prefer to see these ones if possible. All right, if possible. Now, let's move across a little bit. All right, and let's move across to something a bit different. Let's move across to pyramids. Let's say we're drawing pyramids. The one thing with pyramids is that you have to draw the bottom. I would suggest you draw the bottom of the pyramid first. So let's say you're drawing a square base pyramid. Okay, let's draw a square. So it's 1, 2, 3. Like that. Sorry about the cord, I apologize. Like that. Like that. Okay, so now you've got your square base for your pyramid. And now you need where you're going to put your vertex. Okay, so you just put a dot wherever. It doesn't matter where it goes. Let's say you put your dot. Let's say you put your dot there. Okay. Now, when you put that vertex dot there, now all of your other vertices have to join to that. So you've got the base from here, which joins like that. The one down the bottom joins to that. This one here joins to that, and this one here joins to that. Now I can understand I didn't do it right in the middle deliberately, but it doesn't really matter. You could have it over here. It might look a little bit different, but it still works. So then you'd have to write down the right shape, which is a square base pyramid. Now that will work for all of your pyramids. So let's say if you had to do, let's pick a random one. Let's pick a, let me just draw a shape and see how we go. Let's go here. So it's gone there. I feel like I've got myself in a bit of trouble here, but that's okay. I'll do my best. See how we go. If it doesn't work, I can always just redraw it. At the moment, I feel like I have to redraw it. It's supposed to be. Not looking good. That's okay. Okay, that's a pretty dodgy looking. Let's count sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a pretty dodgy looking octagon. But, you know, let's stick with it. Let's say you drew an octagon base, okay? You want to draw an octagonal pyramid. You've drawn your octagon. Now you just need where your apex is going to, your vertex is going to be. And now once you've drawn that dot there, all the other vertices have got to join, all the other corners have got to join up to there, okay?
Now it can get a little bit confusing as they start to overlap, and all it takes is one you haven't drawn up properly to make it look a bit weird, but it's all about practice, you know? You can't expect to get this right in the first time. And then you could be like me and do it 100 times to not get it right, you know? So, that strange looking shape, that strange looking shape is an octagonal pyramid, okay? There are heaps of other shapes. I'm not going to go through all of them because I don't want to bore you with all of my drawings, but there is a whole bunch of different ones you can do with spheres and how to shade the sides of it. It's not really my thing, but I'm going to ask you to draw a few of them, even if it's a pentagonal pyramid or a pentagonal prism. If it was a pentagonal prism, let's say if it was like a I'm just going to draw one freehand just really quickly. See what happens? See what happens when you don't use a ruler? If you drew the same shape in the middle again, like we talked about last time. Wow, see? This has got to be an ad for following my rules, because that does not look good. But let's say if that was like that and there was a shape inside a shape that was perfect, you could just do the same thing again and join the corners up, and that would be your pentagonal prism. But like I said, that's the sort of stuff I get when people stop using rulers. You can clearly see the difference between that one, those ones, and the ones I did at the start. It's very clear to see which one doesn't use a ruler. If you do not use a ruler, alright, you will be marked down for it, because it's really essential that you get used to drawing things exactly as they are, okay? Hopefully that has helped you, and I'm going to put a few different ones. Like I said, I don't want you to do it on a computer. It'd be best if you could do it in a book. I'll put some isometric paper like this if you do have a printer, but if you don't, use a grid book or just use paper. I'm sure you can do it without it, but just try to make sure your shapes are the same size if you're drawing prisms, okay? Alright, thank you very much for watching. Bye.